record. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Jaden Baker, and today I'm going to be talking about bullying and suicide in adolescence. A quote once said by Kat Cora, "Bullying is killing our kids. Being different is killing our kids, and those kids are bullying are dying inside. We have to save our kids, whether they are bullied or they are bullying. They are all in pain." Through an examination of the alarming rise in bullying statistics and their correlation with the escalating rates of adolescent suicide, school administrators and school boards have taken proactive measures to prevent, address, and educate on the topic of bullying and suicide. It is vital for our communities to understand these proactive measures that are being taken, and it is pivotal in safeguarding the well-being for our future generations. As someone who's extensively researched and followed the trends in adolescent mental health and education, my expertise in this field enables me to provide you with an informed and comprehensive overview of the measures being implemented to create a safer and much more supportive environment for our youth. To begin, it's important to understand what bullying is and what suicide is. And it's common for individuals to create their own definitions based on experiences and assumptions for these terms. According to Cambridge Dictionary 2023, bullying is defined as the behavior of a person who hurts or frightens someone smaller or less powerful, often forcing that person to do something they do not want to do. In the 2017 school year, according to the National Center for Educational Statistics in 2019, they conducted a survey in which they found 27% of students have a negative effect on how they felt about themselves. 19% of students struggled with their relationship with their friends and their family. 19% struggled with their academics, and 14% struggled with their physical health. This goes in terms for those who have been bullied. Similar to bullying, it's also extremely important to understand suicide and how you define it, as well as what causes it, so we can prevent it. According to Cambridge Dictionary 2023, suicide can be defined as the act of intentionally killing yourself. Now, suicide can be a cause, or suicide is a factor from bullying. It's a consequence. Many students who feel that they've been bullied and are living through extreme pain think suicide is the correct way to deal with it. Causes of suicide are not limited to bullying, though. It includes history of depression and other mental illnesses, chronic pain, substance abuse, financial issues, and relationship issues as well. Now that we're able to put the definition to these two terms, bullying and suicide, it's important to understand how they contribute and together and where they most commonly seen. Like I said, suicide is a consequence of bullying. Not all the time, but in a lot of cases it is. This is because there's a false notion that suicide is a natural response to being bullied, as found by the National Center for Injury Prevention and Control of 2014. But it's important to remember bullying does not directly cause suicide, but they are still related. Suicide and bullying commonly happen in anywhere there's education. And this goes on school grounds. It can go off school grounds, before school, after school, during school. Cyberbullying also takes place in this as well, but it's most commonly found on school grounds because of this. This is because students are primarily influenced by the social dynamics surrounding them. It's a bunch of new personalities and a bunch of new faces in a small environment, and it's enclosed, and that creates a lot of room for chaos, disagreements, and different views. Commonly, it is found in middle school years. This is because elementary school students typically stay within the same classrooms and with the same group of students and friends, and they've just adjusted and they've had their own cliques and their own groups. But as the school gets larger and the environment gets larger, this leaves more room for judgment. It's found by Physical Bully and Admin 2015. Young people want to fit in more with their peers, making some students more likely to bully or condone bullying to fit in. So we know that the problem of bullying, which leads to suicide, is found in schools, especially starting in middle school, but it's not limited to middle school. It can progress into high school as well as into early adulthood. Now, what are school boards doing about this and school administrators? Because they are aware of these problems. They have created plans and programs to address, educate, and prevent bullying trying to decrease the rates of suicide as well. There are adult training programs, anti-bullying campaigns, restorative justice, and intervention programs as well that focus on individual, small groups, class, and whole school instruction. It's found by Ross in 2012, a framework for school-wide bullying prevention and safety. It's also found that schools that effectively implement these programs have got massive success, which we will get into as well. It's been found that programs that are intensive and direct are the most effective in terms of reducing aggressive behaviors, which leads to reduced rates of bullying and suicide. In 2015, at the University of Oradea and the University of Applied Sciences, Upper Austria, a program called the REAB-VIS results revealed that the program was effective in reducing dysfunctional cognition. With this means that after these programs were implemented and adapted nationwide in schools and actually implemented and worked on, whether it was in one person, whether it was a whole class, they were found that the results were students were able to make better and more efficient long-term and short-term choices than they were prior. And this goes for bullying and bullied and just bystanders as well. According to Rawson and Cowan in 2012, the success of these programs dependent on the intensity and duration of the program as well. By scrutinizing the concerning surge in bullying incidents and their association with the increasing rates of adolescent suicide, school administrators and boards have proactively implemented measures to prevent, educate, and address on the issue of bullying and suicide. Today, we have examined the proactive measures enacted by school administrators and boards. These measures are designed to prevent, address, and educate on these urgent concerns, ultimately striving to foster a safer and more nurturing environment for our youth. Let us remember that every act of kindness, every open conversation, and every supportive gesture can be a lifeline for someone struggling with the weight of bullying and suicide. Thank you. Okay, let me see. Okay. Do you all have feedback for my speech?
Yes. So,
Wait, you mean is it recording?
do you want to go first?
Yeah, I have mine recording. I'm going to see if hopefully it works. And if not, we'll just do it at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
You go first.
Okay, so I thought your speech was really good. I liked how you provided a ton of different examples, and I think it was really important for you to address the issues of bullying. So yeah, I thought it was super important to talk about, and I like how you spoke in a conversational manner, like he said to do, and it wasn't like read word for word. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I love your speech as well. Like, it was so good. I learned so much too. Like, I wouldn't have thought that much about bullying. Like, when you said that about how most people, like most bullies, are the ones that commit suicide compared to the people that are bullied. That's just, I don't know, that's crazy. But I really enjoyed how you did your speech because really you only looked down. I mean, you did your thing. Like, it was very good.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Would you like for me to continue just recording throughout the rest of the thing and maybe it'll record?
Yeah, you do that. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never done that. Okay.
And then Natalie, if you'd be able, sorry, Natalie, if you'd be able to email me what you recorded of mine, that'd be great. Or even upload it to YouTube, whichever is easier. That'd be great. And then I'll upload this to YouTube and I'll send you guys the link.
All right, so who's going next?
I don't care.
I can go. Okay. So my speech is on the importance of foster care and about Americans learning more about it. So my foster care placements failed not because I didn't belong in a family, but because the system failed to identify kinship placements for me. Said by Sixto Cancel from the New York Times. The foster care system is in need of reform. My speech is necessary for my audience to understand the shortcomings of the foster care system and what it could be like to be a child in it. Because of my research on the foster care system for my Composition 2 class, I have credibility to deliver this speech. Individuals must be made aware of institutionalized abuse and neglect, the lack of support for young adults leaving home, and the inadequacy of resources for children with disabilities. To educate my audience about the real foster care system in the United States is my objective. Because some people just foster kids for the financial rewards, there's abuse in foster care. When a young adult turns 18, they must thrust into adulthood without any guidance from parents or adults in their lives. Because the foster care system is designed for physically able children, it clearly lacks resources for children with physical or mental impairments. Public awareness is required of the abuse and neglect that takes place within the foster care system, as well as the lack of support for young adults leaving the system and the lack of resources for children with disabilities. Physical abuse, sexual abuse, and emotional abuse and neglect are the 4 categories under which child maltreatment and abuse are categorized. Neglecting a child can result in the removal from the biological home. Such negative experiences are frequently multifaceted, long-lasting, and associated with a wide variety of serious and complex effects in important functional domains. The transfer into foster care involves a significant life transformation that is characterized by grief, loss, and trauma. Siblings are frequently split up in child welfare situations, which result in severe emotional anguish. The child is moved into a stranger's household with the expectation that they would be freed of the earlier abuse and/or neglect. Compared to their contemporaries, former foster adolescents have a 50% lower likelihood of paying a mortgage or rent, said by youth.gov. Studies have linked a history of foster care to homelessness and have examined the effects of young adults released from state care. Within a year of becoming independent, more than 1/5 of foster adolescents spend at least one day without a home. Additionally, data indicates that disabled children are more frequently abused and given to the child welfare system, either by force or their own volition. Trauma and abuse can even occur within the system itself. One research found that 1/3 of foster children have experienced some form of abuse while in the system, said by National Coalition for Child Protection Reform. The challenge in determining the cause of disability for foster children is just one of the barriers to figuring out how to best support them. The abuse and neglect that occurs within the foster care system, the lack of assistance for young adults transitioning out, and the absence of resources for children with disabilities needs to be made public. In absence of resources, in conclusion, people who just foster children for the financial benefits are to blame for the maltreatment that takes place in foster care. After turning 18, young adults are expected to be thrust into adulthood without any guidance from parents or knowledge of how the world becomes. Being designed for physically able children, the foster care system lacks resources for children with mental or physical disabilities. The American people need to be educated on this neglect in order for reform. To improve the foster care system, the American people must be made aware of this neglect that occurs. Thank you for listening to my speech. That's all.
That was very good.
Yeah, I agree. Natalie, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
No, I'll go first. Okay. I really enjoyed your speech. So you said you were a foster care kid?
I wasn't. I just used an example of someone who.
Okay, sorry. I thought when you said at the beginning you were. Sorry about that. But it was very good. And I
No, I
enjoyed
was
it.
quoting someone. You're good.
Okay. It was very good.
Thank you.
I thought that quote at the beginning too, that drew me in. I was like, oh, okay. Because at that point you think we're going to get to know someone about you, which I mean, we did. You showed your concern for all of this. But I just thought that was a great way to draw in the audience because it's like, okay, this is from a perspective of this. We're starting off as that. You did a great job citing your sources. I like how you weren't like overly loud, you weren't screaming, but you weren't very like monotone, like blah, 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 blah. You did great with vocal variety, and your volume as well. So great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, that's like what I was thinking too. Very good. Like really good.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so nervous.
you got this.
I wrote down like the notes, but I just think ahead. So then I'll be thinking about, I don't know. Hopefully this will turn out. Let's see. Okay. And you're recording? Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Natalie Parker, and I'll be talking about the risk of AI. Have you ever thought about the risk that artificial intelligence entails? If you're not quite sure on what artificial intelligence is, it's the study of machines that can think like humans. It's very important to me to talk about the dangers of AI because it's become so popular and not many people are aware of them. You should listen to me speak on this topic because I've done a lot of research so far and I've become educated on the topic. In this overview of AI, I intend to discuss the risk of AI. The advancement of AI poses a potential threat to putting jobs at risk, endangering data privacy, and possibly putting the market at risk for a future financial crisis. We'll start by talking about how AI is putting jobs at risk. Next, we'll move on to how it's endangering data privacy and possibly putting the market at risk. All right, AI is on track to put many jobs at risk. It's very unfortunate to the hardworking citizens that will lose their jobs or be put at risk due to AI. A 2023 report by Goldman Sachs says that in the US and Europe, 300 million jobs could be risked or be threatened by AI. AI could easily replace finance jobs and human resources jobs. It's not just one career it's affecting. The complexity of these jobs are being forgotten so quickly because AI can do it so easily. Another example is self-checkout. Almost every store has incorporated self-checkout into their store. Before we know it, all cashiers' jobs will be replaced and they'll have to find something. All right, now that we've discussed how AI is putting jobs at risk, let's start talking about how AI is endangering data privacy. Okay, so Economic Times wrote an article about AI and privacy. It says, as AI evolves, it further increases the involvement of personal information that's proliferating the cases of data breaches. You're most likely thinking almost everything we do risks our AI or risk our data privacy, but AI is so much more. These bots are gathering and collecting very important information about us. It's very concerning because if this information was to get out, it could just be terrible. A main AI concern this year was the Snapchat AI bot. This AI bot was added to our Snapchat screen in February. There was only one way to get it off in settings, but eventually it come back on. A mother was testing this out on her daughter's phone, and the Snapchat AI bot had asked to meet up with her daughter. We don't know why that happened, but eventually it returned to the Snapchat settings. And it knew her location without allowing it. AI has the ability to connect with humans emotionally, and it could just emotionally and physically. The last risk of AI I'll be talking about is how to be putting the market at risk for a future financial crisis. Our stock market now is generating trading strategies for humans. Anurag Paul from Open Growth says that due to the complexity of these AI systems, there is a heightened risk that any failure from them could create a cascading effect across the entire stock market system. Right now, the market is at a good mark from where it was, and if it was to disrupt this positive chain, it would just be terrible. Some investors are fully putting their trust in AI to invest their money for them. It's called algorithmic trading. Yes, many people make well doing it, but it comes with a risk. AI could be wrong, and you could potentially lose all your money. If we're not careful, the stock market could crash again. All right, AI and its many uses could pass threats to American livelihoods. I picked 3 that are important to me. The 3 main points I've discussed is how AI is putting jobs at risk, endangering data privacy, and possibly putting the market at risk for a future financial crisis. I hope this was an eye-opener to you, because we're only ever told about how great AI is, and not how dangerous it could potentially be. In conclusion, next time you're exploring with AI, you stop and think about the danger it entails. Okay, sorry, I just got so nervous there.
No, it was so good.
I just got so nervous. I was thinking about the whole thing. I don't know. My anxiety was coming out there. But okay.
You did amazing. I thought, because I know a little bit about AI. I don't know a lot about AI. And when I hear AI, I've heard like a lot of like, oh, chat GPT and like those generators and stuff. But I didn't really make that connection to like self-checkout, which is true. I go to Walmart and there's maybe one human cashier in the entire store. And it's like, oh my gosh. And your speech really just kind of opened my eyes as to how much technology is not only advancing, but how much it is taking over. And it's like some people might be like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it might be cool, but also, like you said, there's a lot of potential like dangers and consequences that come with this. And I've heard about the Snapchat story with the mom and the daughter, and like that freaks me out. Whether that was a mistake on their end or it was AI being AI, that's just a big like, oh my gosh. But overall, I love how you presented. Your vocal variety was amazing. And you overall did amazing. Good job.
Thank you.
So I think you also did really good. I'm not super interested in AI, but you kind of like opened my eyes a little bit. I didn't think about like people, like I didn't connect the losing jobs and stuff. I just thought about ChatGPT too. So yeah, that's crazy, and I don't want to lose my job in the future due to AI. So um, thank you for like informing me about this because I honestly had no idea.
It's crazy.
It is.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.